box. Lettinen tried to go up and get it. He was hit really hard on the back shoulder. And then too much contact in the box the second time around. It'll be free kick for the Hoyas. And they go too quick with it. Nikola Alexic is our referee today with Brian Apwish and Nabil Ben-Salah on the lines. Referee gets out of the way as that ball to nobody, and Butler will preserve possession. Driving ball, beautiful pass through. Gould plays it out wide. Patience by Butler, probing that one right into the waiting hands of Romero. Two-keeper system for Georgetown. They've got a lot of talent. We'll see both Romero and Giannis Nikopolidis, freshman and sophomore respectively, for the Hoyas. Turnover there. Looking forward, Cabrera, pass red, and turned right back. Good read and defense by Dylan Nealis. Long ball and a strong tackle by Griffin DeBolt. Myers retreats. Five minutes in, still very much in the feeling out process of this one, but that's a poor attempted across. Butler trying to hustle things up. Gould looking for the pass across. It's chipped a little bit too strong, and Romero got a great read on it to run it down. Logan Lee a little bit too much on that pass. Myers, good physical play there, bodying up, and he's going to get called for the foul. Got a little bit too much of the back of Derek Dodson, the preseason Big East Offensive Player of the Year. That will be a real physical battle to watch. Dodson, a 6-foot, 162-pound junior, going up against a 6'1", 190-pound Myers, a defender who his coach Paul Snape quickly said it might be the toughest defender in the entire country. High praise for the first-year player out of Eastern Florida State College. That one deflects off the body of Lettinen. And tipped off the toe of a Hoya. And Butler will have to throw it in deep in their own corner. A lot of traffic to work through here. Chip down, good ball right in front, and a beautiful save. Dodson had it right on his knee, flipped it with the foot, and an early beautiful save by Georgie. Had to make a quick reaction here. This ball was right on Dodson, got behind the defense. Boy, just a beautiful reflex there from Georgie for the first save of the evening. Did deflect out for a Georgetown corner. First of the night for the Hoyas. Hooking in, headed up and wide of the post. Somewhat marked, but clean to it. There's an opportunity for Georgetown. It looked like it may have been J.B. Fisher up from defense that had a chance at it. And off the chest and then down with injury. That's Nealis, Dylan Nealis, the preseason Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Chested that ball and then immediately crumpled to the deck. And the referee asks if he needs to go off. He says no, and he'll go at it. Nealis with a pretty clean play on this ball. Oh, yeah, took a boot right to the, looked like the left pectoral area, but stays in. Beautiful cross, and Nealis looks no worse for wear, but couldn't control that attempt to reverse field. Hoyas now settling in, possessing for the last several minutes inside Butler territory. really for Butler to go with that throw-in. Bodies about, and a foul committed. They'll get Riviere with it. And now a chance for Butler to at least exhale for the moment. Try and play a little soccer on the opposite side of the field. Butler's been very deliberate with this backline possession, but then again, a pass with no intended receiver. DeBolt just turning it right back. So many weapons, so much depth for Georgetown. But let's be mindful of everybody on the field. Beautiful pass. Cabrera getting in an open space. Sutton. Pass stopped Gould right in his tracks. Now they look back for Cabrera. Able to control, and no one there for that pass as Dodson now looks to counter. Stretched by Lee, kept it in momentarily. Myers with a good job to flip and prevent the advantage, and Butler with a nice piece of possession here. Both coaches really talked about each team's somewhat failure to preserve momentum. That one not headed cleared away. Lee will be able to control. Looking for options. Sutton had it knocked out. It'll still be Butler's ball on the throw-in. And before that, though, foul given. Again, the near-perfect start to the season for Georgetown. Butler with the 2 losses on the column. One this past week, a little bit undermanned in a game in which SIU Edwardsville just brought heat for 110 minutes. Sort of a relentless attacking game between both. As foul called here. Derek Sutton knocking Fisher to the turf. But even within that, Paul Snape just talking about how his team not playing with an ability to adjust to momentum. A phantom fall, then maybe the push before we had a view of it, and a free kick here for the Hoyas. But even Georgetown and Coach Brian Weiss talking about it a little bit. Still wants to see a 90-minute effort. How you deal with both positive and negative waves of momentum. Both coaches still seeking out that perfect solution 5 games in. Cross into space. Riviere with room. Try to drop it down. Myers right there. And again, the biggest body really on the field. That big 190 frame. Dodson's not going to walk out of here tonight without a few bruises on him. Butler bench imploring that front line to press up. That leaves a little gap in the middle, and now the Hoyas trying to find some space. Oh, Riviere had a nice run. There's the reigning player of the week in the Big East. Quickly reversed Nealis with it. Beautiful couple of pieces of work, but then that one kind of squibbed and shanked into the box by Zawadski. Sophomore who has been a very important contributor. Can you talk about the depth of this Georgetown team? Well, no single player is probably getting the minutes he feels he would deserve because there is so much depth on that bench. 16 goals we mentioned scored. They've been scored by 10 different players this season. 13 different players have registered a point for the Hoyas in just 5 games of work. In fact, this team ranks 3rd in the country in points per game, not just the goal scoring, 5th in the country but the sharing of the ball as well. Beautiful chip in, knocked around, controlled, and lifted, but not far enough. Dodson didn't know where the ball was, not far enough to get out to Nealis, and Butler clears. A good sprint by Wilmer Cabrera Jr. to turn things to the Butler side of the field. Okay, no real surprise early in this one, approaching 15 minutes of game action. All 3 shots in this game have come from Georgetown, 1 on goal. But that Butler energy, defensive tenacity on display in this new look Butler unit. 5 fouls already committed by the Bulldogs. They are going to make it hard on Georgetown here tonight. Beautiful play in the air. The win momentarily by DeBolt. And now that one squibbed all the way back to Georgie. Lee trying to bring it down. Giving up a few inches on that far sideline. Logan Lee just 5'8". Dodson may have been off there. They let him play through. Opportunity here. Myers backpedaling a bit, recovered nicely to deflect that one. Almost twice. Thought the turf monster was going to come up and grab him. And now Cabrera able to possess. Really dynamic playmaker. Just his freshman year, but healed that one a bit, trying to get it forward for Harvey. I think Butler counter to this point has been short-lived. Dodson, beautiful skill, lots of room. Montez. And that one issued out for a corner. Montez tried to sell the foul in the box. Would not get it, but look at the skill by Dodds. Just a quick touch, a lot of space, unchecked. Myers right there trying to make it difficult. Definitely made a play on the ball. Good no call there, but still second corner now for Georgetown. Good look last time for J.B. Fisher, one of 2 6-footers in the box. He headed it just wide of the near post. They go for Fisher again, punched out by Georgie. Almost the same service. Now again, 3 guys unchecked. Georgie off the top of the crossbar, but the flag was up. Offside against Georgetown. Looked that way immediately. Nervous couple of moments for Butler, but Georgie in the back line of defense hold true again. You see right there, no doubt there. Look at the football lines. A couple of offensive players inside the 5 as Riviere goes down. Free kick here for Georgetown. Butler's got half the bench up, starting to do light calisthenics for some first half substitutions in this frenetic pace. You see him getting loosened up. The Butler sideline, again, a huge homestand here for Butler. And the schedule this year. One served in. Beautiful read by Georgie. He committed to that one right away and came out to collect it. Sophomore from Italy, kind of played in the shadow of the reputation of the great Eric Dick. Goaltender here for Butler. Now playing professionally, who was not just the shadow of his fine play, but the shadow of his enormous frame. And Paul Snape saying how much Georgie's growth is owed to that, but also being comfortable with it. That one healed back through. Lee got a little cute with that beautiful pass. Maybe even had time to corral and put something on goal. Went right into the chest, controlled easily by Lettinen. Cabrera had to go give and go there. Lettinen, good fight to keep this one in Bulldog white. Forwards were asking for that ball to get through, but unable to get the body out of the way was Lee. That one rolls all the way through for a Butler throw. You get a look there momentarily at Derek Dodson. You'd expect to see a lot of bodies off the bench tonight. And summer has refused to let its grip go here in the Midwest. So temperatures at kickoff still in the low to mid 80s. It is humid here as well. It will challenge the fitness tonight as that ball on the hard tackle out to Butler. Derek Sutton taking the brunt of that one for the Bulldogs. Riviere dispossessed. Now Butler trying to move it. With Cabrera running free, couldn't get the ball through to him, and then foul committed by Georgetown will give Butler a chance to reset. Oh, beautiful touch there. Harvey with the control. Cabrera sensing the contact, played through it. Now skips his way through. Lovely work. Cabrera issued down. There will be no whistle. Fancy footwork and the right call there. More his momentum than necessarily contact that brought him to the turf. But there you got a glimpse of the flash of what Wilmer Cabrera Jr. can do for this team. 2 game-winning goals already this year for the Bulldogs. Both of them scored in his freshman campaign. That was the defensive concern for Georgetown. They know they're probably going to control possession for much of this game, but you've got a real goal hunter in Gould back and playing up front, senior with a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge of where to be, and then you have that kind of wild card, athletic-minded forward in Cabrera. Georgetown valuing possession here, but Gould read it to quickly take it back. Now Butler with a chance to run in open space. Lee with it. He's going to try and reverse it quickly, but that one didn't have enough on it to clear the back line of Daniel Wu. Looking for Dodson. That one took a long time to materialize. And Butler, thanks to Jack Haywood, back on it. Comes Lee again. Lots of space. Didn't drive into it. Cabrera instead gets it, chests it, controls, flips through, and that ball saved away by the right-handed flip of Daniel Wu. Again, brilliant stuff from Cabrera. Well, that one gets behind the defense of Butler, but DeBolt able to control. And then Myers comes to bail him out. He thought that ball was going to be taken by a teammate. Now here comes the Hoyas. Riviere, clean ball through. 2 guys collide in the box. And that ball chipped wide. Referee swallows his whistle. Incidental contact, they're going to say, between Dodson, who was back there running. Both teams feeling they were wronged at some point in time in that juncture, as they have certainly let them play here in the early going. Sure how much of an advantage it took away from Georgetown. The real threat seemed to be out there on that wide side with Rothrock operating in space. Hoyas will make the first sub when allowed of this match. Somewhat surprised watching a couple of tired jogs out there for Butler that Paul Snape hasn't also made a play to the bench in a scoreless first half. And Rothrock, the transfer from Notre Dame, couldn't control that on the far side. Went through 3 white jerseys. Rothrock controlled, but then too firm on the pass. And Lee got hammered by J.B. Fisher. The ref says play on. Dodson and Myers, that has been one fun battle to watch. Myers wins that tussle again. Very physical here in the match's first 25 minutes. No goals scored. Georgetown all the shots in this one. 5-0 officially. The shot totals. Although Butler maybe had the best, most recent scoring chance, a brilliant one-on-everybody run by Wilmer Cabrera Jr. Did not lead to an official shot, but he was close enough. And Georgetown knew he was knocking on perhaps the first goal of this match. Gives it up here, and Butler will slow play to try and find an angle of attack. And the pass is difficult. DeBolt could pass with the head, but could not be corralled in by Harvey. A long ball through, trying to get up there. Butler read it on the dead sprint by Rothrock. Now Cabrera waits for it to settle, looking for Gould. One headed away. Georgetown and that back line. A few conversations right now to try and tighten things up. Beautiful pass. And back behind, the pass from Zawadski. You could hear the pain from all the way up on high after controlled here to go. And his knee on knee. Seen a little bit worse not be called. And the conversation, no card for Jack Hayward. Or will there be? No. Just a conversation between he and referee Nikola Alexic. Seven fouls whistled against Butler. Dodson has no help, strikes it with purpose, and what a save by Georgie, his third of the night. Dodson, I don't think, really wanted this shot, but knew that it was going to be the only attempt and still made the absolute most of it with his left-footed blast. Already 2 goals on the season, and a reason why you've got all of the accolades for Dodson. So 2 subs now coming in for Georgetown. Jack Beer in for Zach Riviere. And Dante Polvara replaces J.B. Fisher. Polvara, a real nightmare matchup in the middle. A 6'4", 180-pound freshman midfielder. And really a guy that his head coach, Brian Weiss, says knows is going to be a pro when his collegiate days are over, and would probably start for this team if it weren't for the fact they've got a senior in J.B. Fisher who's just brought it every day, has been indispensable in terms of energy. They're right into the mix. Polvara uses the head. Now Lee battling with Rothrock on that side. Doesn't give up his ground. Tries to fight through it and will be rewarded with the foul. Referee wasn't ready for that reset. We'll do it again. Again, a team in Georgetown that exploded for 9 goals in its last 2 contests. While Butler really hasn't had much to speak of offensively in this one, certainly hasn't been a bend-don't-break defense either. Georgetown with 3 shots on goal, 2 of them of the nervous variety if you're a Butler fan, both from Derek Dodson. Now Gould operating with some space. Ethan Lochner has just checked in for Butler, operating in the center midfield. Or I should say it's Hemi Nasser operating there. Cabrera, there's Nasser. Looking for Dodson. Beautiful read. DeBolt came up to at least slow things down, but here come Georgetown. Onside, no. Wouldn't have mattered. The ball got away from Dodson anyway.
Bulldog substitution 3, Perrin Barnes for 11, Brandon Gould.
Gould will get his first breather. That will shift for Butler on the attack. Cabrera up to the point. And Perrin Barnes, a freshman from Aurora, Illinois, takes Cabrera's spot at the front left portion of this Butler offense. And we'll go to work quickly here. Another young, dynamic, playmaking type. Part of a young nucleus. Who knows what the season will bring, what this game outcome will bring. But really high praise from the Georgetown coaching staff of what Butler has to build off of in the future and what this team could become in a few years' time. They're hoping the time is now in this game against Georgetown and what could be a game to make a lot of waves, not just in the Big East, but around the country. Aggressive challenge by Rothrock, and he's called for another foul as Sutton hit the deck. Just kind of bulldozed his way through. Space to operate. Lee looking. Cabrera. Nothing there. Ball gets through. Butler able to retain possession. Haywood came up and now crosses. Meyer shows an extra gear. Beautiful touch. Nice drop in. Nasser with it. Left foot. Had a strike there. Didn't take it. And waited too long. And Nealis took it right away. When Nasser was set up right there on the left foot and probably had a strike at it, thought he could afford an extra touch. Beautiful look. Myers comes all the way up, and a couple of good little touches. Lee leaving it off right there. Nasser probably didn't need the fake. May have even had space to try and get it past Romero far post. We'll never know, and Butler still looking for its first shot on goal. Romero last time around was calling for the reversal, didn't get it, had some words with his back line. And now Myers took out his team. That's a quick reset. Sliding tackle, two Butler defenders collide there to thwart what would be an offensive attack from Georgetown. It's a very quick restart. Now Nealis had it taken away by Sutton. Now Butler, can they counter? Not a lot of numbers unless they want to sprint forward. Can Nasser get to this ball? He will get to it. But the running defense, getting all the way through, was Nealis. Butler did a good job to make sure they had a play on the ball. Hopped up, got the face of Lee, and then he pushes Dotson to the ground. And another foul whistled against Butler. And their money's worth tonight. Bulldogs doubling up the Hoyas, and fouls called. Two Derek Dotson shots on goal, the best opportunities for the Hoyas in this first half. Won a bang-bang play at the goal. Save of the night by Gabriel Georgi very early on in this contest. Jack Beer goes out wide. Dribbling in space, unable to get the edge, but maintaining possession. O'Hearn. That one just waffled a bit in the air, not properly struck. And Butler gets it out of there. Bulldogs in space. They try the deep look over the top, and Lee more concerned with contacting his defender than playing the ball. Hoy is certainly mastering possession in this one versus Butler. Butler has turned field, but done so without valuing the ball as much as Georgetown has. And to be expected a bit with as connected of a unit as this Hoyas team has been. Well, Myers again just stands tall. The brick wall back there for Butler defensively. That one got high up under the chest. No handball called here against Nasser. Able to poach it away. Butler can reverse and operate in some space. Long ball here, a long run up. Barnes trying to get there, but that one will get into the box, and Romero with a good beat on it. And over the top offside was Dodson. He knew it. Two Hoyas waiting to check in. One for Butler. I'm somewhat surprised that there has not been as much depth used off the bench for either team on a hot night. A lot of physical play. Wouldn't call the pace frenetic or quick, but it certainly hasn't been methodical. Romero comes out a long ways to handle that one. Hoya's valuing possession now. Trying to build to one more solid offensive opportunity here as the first half nears completion. Polvara. Jack Beard nowhere to operate. Polvara again. Beer now earns the edge, dribbles through, beautiful work. Myers had to come over to help. Dangerous situation there for Butler. They were exposed in the middle with Myers having to come over to play, but no one could settle that ball. And that one goes all the way out as Will Sands could not run it down.
Substitutions for Georgetown, 13 Riley Strassner.
This defense, beautiful work by Sands, driving it through, but then Myers able to come out and play it. And with 6 minutes to go, a few substitutions for both teams as Ethan King in for the first time for Butler. Logan Lee sits. Foster McCune, Riley Strassner now both in for Georgetown as that one hit off the side of the foot for a goal kick. Riley Strassner making his presence felt very quickly off of the Hoyas bench. Beautiful touch. Opportunity here through Cabrera trying to sneak it past. Aggressive run by Ethan King, but controlled by the Hoyas. Now a chance, if they want to counter. Trying to find Strassner. He uses a big frame, but DeBolt up to the challenge. Barnes kept it alive. Nice work here. Barnes trying to get it right back, but the touch just a bit too firm. Good combo there between King and Barnes. Look at the energy that Ethan King has brought off the bench. He's going to empty the tank in the last 5 minutes of this first half, making Romero make quicker decisions. Butler trying to poach a goal here late in the first half. Some fresh legs on the field. That one balloons up in the sky. Nealis drops it outside. Sands. Both teams would gladly take the score to the locker room. One goal could loom larger than just that single point on the board, the way both of these teams have fought. King again covering a lot of ground, sideline to sideline. Defense creeping up. That ball gets through, but they caught Strassner offside. A free kick here for Butler. And the whistle blows. A lot of contact in the air. Jack Haywood won the ball against Sean Zawadski, but the Hoya sophomore took a knee right to the lower part of the back. He is down. Two guys going up for a ball in the air together. I believe there was a foul whistled against Butler there, but more just to deal with the injured player in the collision. The clock stops so they can attend to Zawadski. One thing that is new this year and available here tonight because of this game being on the Big East Digital Network is that we do have replay available for the officials. Really only used for goal scoring situations, and then also if the referee wants to take a look to see if anything was egregious, and now a yellow card has been issued against Jack Haywood. I did not see a consultation of the monitor there, so that was just after the fact. Referee Nikola Alexic saying there was enough there, came up in the air with a knee to the back of a player. And now Jack Haywood's going to have to play with a yellow the rest of the way in this one. So the clock will restart just outside of 2 minutes remaining. Butler's gone away from pressing that ball as now Polvara looks to work with it. King comes up. Polvara uses that big frame to maintain possession. Roca. McCune. Nealis overlaps him. McCune keeps it himself, drives it in low. Myers got the frame in the way, could not clear, however. Sands. Nobody checking outside, driven into the middle. And a beautiful play by DeBolt to clear it out and perhaps end any final scoring threat here in the half. Cabrera charging fast, hoping for a late Georgetown hiccup. King almost got to that ball. That long frame. 20 seconds left. Myers and Butler will try and go over the top one more time. King trying to get through. That ball is issued out for a corner, but there will not be time for Butler to make a play at it. Physical first half, and maybe say a slight win for the home team. For a team that has scored 9 goals in its last 2 games, Butler goes 45 minutes of shutout, including a couple of huge saves by Gabriel Georgi in goal for the Dogs. He saved all 3 of the shots on goal from Georgetown. The Hoyas out shooting the Dogs 7-1 in the first half. But against the number 3 team in the country, a really good first 45 minutes from both squads here inside the Selleck Bowl. Slight adjustments. We'll see how much energy both teams come out with in the second half, but it's 0-0 at the break. Butler and Georgetown in the first weekend of the Big East men's soccer calendar.
It's time to fuel your ambitions. by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Scoreless first 45 minutes between Butler and Georgetown, opening weekend of the conference portion of the schedule here in the Big East. Villanova and DePaul played earlier today. They didn't register a goal. Goals harder to come by when it comes to conference games against conference foes. While we sit and wait for the second half here at the South Bowl, you do not have to miss a thing at home, including everything that's going around the Big East. Megan Caffrey and John Fanta take us around the conference.
Welcome into the Big East Studios in New York City. I'm Megan Caffrey, joined alongside my partner, John Fanta. We welcome you into the first fall sports update of the season. We're so excited to be back.
Music to my ears after a successful non-conference play around the Big East. Now we've got several teams across the league that take momentum as the conference grind revs up, Megan, and that's what you need to get through it.
Let's waste no time and get into 3 things that you need to know around the conference, starting with field hockey. 3 Big East field hockey teams are ranked in this week's NFHCA poll. UConn checking in at number 4, Liberty at 13, and John, amidst a 4-game win streak, Old Dominion cracked the top 25 for the first time this season, coming in at number 22. In volleyball, 2 teams are in the top 20 this week. Creighton hitting a season best ranking, coming in at 15, and Marquette, who's only dropped 2 matches on the season, remains in the top 10 at number 8 this week. And John, women's soccer, they had some impressive non-conference wins.
They did. Georgetown is the cream of the crop in the Big East. Dave Nolan has built a national powerhouse. And for the Hoyas, they went through a changing of the throne in goal from Ariel Sheckman to now Anna Lee. The freshman's coming off a clean sheet, the first of her career, and it came against a tough opponent in a ranked West Virginia team that got shut down offensively at Shaw Field. For the Hoyas, they've got returning veterans. I think of Paula Germino-Watnick, Amanda Carolyn, and then you've got a freshman keeper who now has momentum as conference play inches closer. That is going to be a tough team to handle. But watch out for Butler. Watch out for Providence, too.
Let's turn to Big East men's soccer now. They had a really exciting non-conference season as well, and now things kick into gear with conference play starting up this weekend, and 3 teams are in the top 25 for Big East men's soccer.
And rightly so. For BE football, it got started on opening night. Big East men's soccer was ready from the get-go. I look at a 9-0-1 record on opening night. Xavier making a statement over then number 3 Akron, and that got the Musketeers national attention. Sometimes all it takes is one win, and for St. John's that was the case. They went to NC State, they challenged themselves, and got a victory. Their first over an ACC team since 2010. And then Georgetown, Brian Weiss's reigning Big East champions. The Hoyas went out west. UC Irvine, UCLA, they rolled past them, and then commanded UConn last weekend.
And John, you mentioned St. John's. They are off to a historic start for the season. They are ranked 9th this week. That is a program best for the Red Storm.
Such a steady sophomore class, only in their second years, but the Johnnies have several spark players that can deliver. Skage Simonson, Tani Olawashei, and a role change for Mr. Brandon Knapp from the back line into the midfield, and it's paying off.
And I actually chatted with Brandon Knapp about what's paying off for him personally and this Red Storm squad.
The number 9 St. John's Red Storm is off to its best start in program history at 6-0 after taking down Columbia. I'm now joined by midfielder Brandon Knapp, who scored 2 goals in the Red Storm's 5-1 victory Monday night. Brandon, you started off the scoring for your team in the second half. How did the offense really open up in the second?
Yeah, in the second half, we really got going. We created a lot of chances. I really think it started on the defensive end. You know, Coach always talks about our big thing is defensive effort and defensive intensity. I think we really picked it up there. We won a lot of balls in the midfield, got the ball forward early, and then we got the ball wide and got guys in the box like I did on the goal, and we finished off our chances. So I'm glad to see we got 5 goals. It was good.
Brandon, talking about that defense, looking at your goalkeeper situation this season, you have a tandem goalkeeper situation with Luca Gaffron and John Hoffman sharing the net. How has the dynamic been between the two of them?
Oh, the dynamic's great. They're both really working hard every day in practice. I really like having both of them back there. It's really good. They're both leaders from the back, starting, you know, it always starts in the back with communication. But they're doing really well, not letting out many chances, not letting out many goals. So I'm really happy with that.
Your team came in ranked number 9 in the latest polls this week. That's the first time St. John's has been in the top 10 in 6 years. What is behind your team's success?
Yeah, it's been really awesome. We've just been working hard every day. We have a lot of different guys who can play a lot of different positions, a lot of depth, which has really helped us. You know, starting from the coaches, they've just been preaching to work hard every day. You know, our preparation has been really good every game. Something that's been important for us, we've been finding a way to win every game. So whether we faced a lot of different challenges, a lot of different adversity, but we found a way. So it's been good for us.
When you say finding a way to win, what was the way that your team found to win against Columbia?
We just turned it on the second half. You know, we had a tough halftime talk. After the first half was kind of slow, a little bit sluggish, but we just turned it around. The Columbia's a really good team, a lot of good players, as we saw. So we just created a lot of chances and really, grinded it out.
Brandon, you're only a sophomore, and this season you were named one of your team's captains. Where does that leadership come from?
I think I'm just a natural leader. You know, I really like being a leader a lot. There's a lot of different responsibilities, obviously, to take on as a sophomore. But I'm really enjoying it so far. You know, my other captains and I were doing a really good job so far, and I'm just loving being a leader of the team right now.
Last season, your team had the second highest total of freshmen on your squad in the nation. This year, 12 of your team's 15 goals have actually come from that sophomore class. How has your sophomore class grown from last season to now?
You know, I think we've grown a lot. You know, last year was a big step for us. We were freshmen, so kind of getting used to everything at first, but you know, we obviously have some experience now. We're really all coming together. We've developed a lot of different chemistry and stuff. So I think it's good for us to, you know, that we got 12 of the goals. It's really good.
How would you describe the overall chemistry of this year's team?
Oh, the chemistry is great. You know, we're a great group of guys. You know, everyone loves each other. We love coming to practice every day, hanging out with each other. So the chemistry is really good.
Who's probably going to keep practices the lightest? Who's the funniest on the team?
Funniest on the team got to be Kadeem Joseph. He's always got to make it light. Who else? Matt Forster. He's a funny guy. Maybe Johan Akulon, so one of the French guys. A lot of different funny guys. So
Any
always fun.
saying in a different language out on the field?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of different languages. You know, we got the Norwegians speaking to each other. Now we got 2 Germans. It's pretty cool to see the different cultures and stuff.
Your team will take on the 19th ranked Xavier squad this Friday on the Big East Digital Network. What are you looking forward to in opening up conference play, going in undefeated?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know we're all excited. We're ready to go. Starting conference play, I'm really glad we came in undefeated, kind of send a message to the conference, but we're ready to go. I know Xavier's a really tough team. It's going to be a really tough game, just like every other game in the Big East, but we're ready to go.
What's that message that you're sending to the conference?
Just we're here. We're ready to go. You know, we're going to have a good season along with all the other teams, but we're ready to go.
Brandon, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
From our studios in New York City, he's John Fanta. I'm Megan Caffrey. Thank you for watching and enjoy the second half of your game.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. fucking tell me to stop.
Who will have that breakthrough goal in the second half? And will it perhaps even be a game winner? About to find out. Second half coming your way here at the Selleck Bowl after a scoreless tie in the first half. Good defensive poise by Butler. Certainly the underdog coming into this one against the number 3 ranked team in the country and the preseason picks to win it all again here in the Big East. The Bulldogs withstood the offensive onslaught of Georgetown, surrendering just 7 shots, 3 of them on goal, all 3 of them saved by the sophomore keeper Gabriel Georgie for Butler. Dogs managed just 1 shot in the entire first half. That came from Hemi Nasser, who was substituted in late. Georgetown controlling possession, but not quite as sharp in terms of stringing together possession as they were in their 5-0-0 start to this season. See if there are any adjustments in terms of intensity for the Hoyas out of the halftime locker room. Again, first night of Butler men's, or should say Big East men's soccer action this year. Butler and Georgetown, their first Big East contest, and one of several games across the league and conference today. 5 of them, in fact. 1 of them already completed. Villanova and DePaul played earlier this afternoon to a scoreless tie. They are underway in the second half at Providence with the Friars 1-0 leaders over Seton Hall. And a battle of top 20 teams nationally. Xavier at St. John's. Xavier 19 in the country. St. John's 9th. It is 1-0 Musketeers as they begin play in the second half. Couple of players down in the box. Arm in the air as DeBolt is in serious pain for Butler. They are playing on the opposite side. The ball finally out, and DeBolt still has his arm up, asking for help, and that does not look good. Crumpled and holding his left knee. A lot of contact in the box. DeBolt was defending. Good footwork coming through. 12 on 12. Nealis, DeBolt, and then right there took contact to the inside of the knee. Didn't look like the foot was planted, but just an awkward spot to be hit. And he is still down and being attended to. So, and he knew immediately when he went down, had the hand up, calling for support. Just took that shot directly to the inside portion of that knee, and he is still down on the turf. Georgetown asking for a call there, with Nealis showing some good skill to get into that position. And that could be a big loss for Butler. DeBolt back there, 6'3", 170. Got a lot of praise from his head coach, Paul Snape, for his strong starts in games so far this year. Both DeBolt and then back there we've talked so much of Reese Myers and the toughness he brings. Big, tall, strong two center backs that anchor that Butler defense. This could be a big blow for Butler as they continue to attend to DeBolt. Look from the different angle here coming down. And just knee on knee there between DeBolt and Nealis. DeBolt is up under his own power but will not be able to get to the sideline that way. And cannot really envision a future scenario where he is going to be available for the rest of the evening. So he heads off, but we'll have to replace him on the backside.
Substitution for Butler, 3 Perrin Barnes for 12.
So Perrin Barnes will come in. Defender by trade, played so that left midfielder off the bench in the first half, but will now come in and try and anchor the back line of the defense with Myers back there for Butler. We'll see where Georgetown elects to attack here with the injury to DeBolt. Reversing through the midfield. Wu up ahead, Nealis. He has been very active tonight. Dribbles right through 2 defenders, puts on the brakes. Beautiful move. Striking setup and easily delivered. Montez delivers the first goal for Georgetown.
Georgetown goal.
Brilliant strike, but even a more brilliant setup by the senior Dylan Nealis, the preseason Big East Defensive Player of the Year, showing off the offense, showing off the hustle, and the delivery. 1-0 Hoyas. All Nealis, even though it'll be Montez in the scorebook. Book that one. Georgetown on the board. It took just 2.5 minutes into this second half. Third goal of the season for Jacob Montez. Junior from Lake Worth, Florida, now tied for the team lead in goals with Riviere and Polvara, who each have 3. And a back-breaking early blow delivered to Butler. DeBolt goes down, and immediately Georgetown capitalizes. No long frame there to dispossess Nealis, who got through. That ball stays on the sideline. Georgetown smelling blood in the water here, trying to pounce, but Butler able to take it back for a moment, and then foul given. And a little gimpy on the ankle there for Joel Harvey. These were the moments of momentum both coaches talked about. Bad spell here for Butler. How do they regroup? Not looking good here. Montez set up again with it, trying to get to the left foot. Wall of white there. There's room to cross. He is able to cross there. Rockbart settles in. Beautiful sliding attempt, but Georgie holds his ground to keep it just a 1-0 score. Boy, Rothrock put it right on the heel. Sliding attempt by Strassner in there. Big frame, and Georgie took the hit knowing that he was going to be in harm's way. The Hoyas really pressing now forward, sensing an opportunity. Put a big number on the board here in the second half. 17th goal of the year for the Hoyas. Again, entered tonight's contest. 3.2 goals per game, 5th best in the country. Certainly didn't anticipate a 3+ goal night tonight. But you did feel it wasn't an if but when there would be at least a goal on the board for the Hoyas. Now what can Butler do? Sloppy giveaway there. Georgetown ball trying to get through and knocked. No foul whistled. Will Sands hit the turf, was anticipating the whistle, but Nikola Alexic says no. Has him play on. Butler cleared, and now here comes Sands and company again. Boy, Rothrock unguarded. Dangerous connection there. Strassner was running. Rothrock again. Zawadski clipped away. Corner coming for Georgetown. An absolute onslaught right now of those in the dark blue. And Paul Rothrock, who's been another key contributor this year for the Hoyas, a transfer from Notre Dame, will take this corner. Out sweeper, lofts it, back post. That one cleared through. And Rothrock still back at home. Can do it again. Montez looking for space. Earns another corner. If you're Butler defensively, Reese Myers back there stuck on an island without DeBolt next to him. DeBolt's 6'3", really the tallest frame that plays for Butler, out with injury to try and protect the air. That one headed up and punched over by Georgie. Good find. Unchecked was Nealis and almost found that upper 90. Another high one driven in. This one gets through the ground, knocked around, ball ping-ponging through. Still not cleared. One it's right off the side of the head of Sands. That was a vicious strike. No ill will there in that, but at least bring the training staff out to look at him. Butler, anything they could to try and clear this ball. Haywood got all of it, and then it got all of the side of Will Sands. He's saying he doesn't need to see a trainer. They will take him off as a quick precaution. Sub granted for Georgetown, so quickly in comes Riviere. And Butler will allow their defense to at least breathe momentarily after a really fast, quick onslaught here from the Hoyas. Certainly come out inspired, but I think also benefiting from an unfortunate injury to one of Butler's better defenders there on the back line. That DeBolt injury just a minute or so into the second half has had Butler's back line looking a little more susceptible. Hoyas looking for more. Yeah, pretty lazy clear there from Butler, but a poor pass allows Logan Lee to try and corral. That ball gets through. Now Butler looking for a run. Gould working middle. No one willing to try and challenge, deliver a pass. Louis Bolger is barking for it wide. And Cabrera a little lazy there, didn't go to the ball. Lettinen trying to drive it through. That one cleared but not out. It's a high boots in the middle. Gould didn't really want to get into the fray there. Ball chipped out. Rothrock keeps it in. Myers full head of steam. No one wants to get away in the way of that freight train. Now this one's dangerously over. Barnes didn't know what to do with that one. It's clipped out and will be a throw for Georgetown. Georgetown, you feel just on the verge of what would be a very comfortable second goal. The way that this second half has unfolded, it has been a blinding 10 minutes of action from the Hoyas. Butler looking to equalize. Lee probably had space to use his speed, instead waited for reinforcement. Given away by Harvey. Ball trying to drive through. And the foul given. Good defense by Bolger. Sense the nervous energy inside the Selleck Bowl for those that have gathered on a Friday night to cheer on the Bulldogs. Just not the energy needed in this second half to keep up with the number 3 team in the country, and it's not going to get any easier with
Substitution for the Dogs.
Indiana, number 4 in the country, coming in next week. St. John's right on their heels. Depending on how the polls shake out next week, you could end up with 3 straight home games against top 10 ranked opponents. Of course, hinges a lot on what's going on right now in Queens, where St. John's has equalized against Xavier 1-1, as they are 12 minutes into the second half. A lot of free runs here for Georgetown. Good skill there by Bulger. Butler trying to string together some passes. Gould's out wide on the right, unchecked, and never tried to get back to him. Turf grabs the foot of Nealis. Gould was offside. Pretty close. Right idea for Butler to try and get it in the hands of their playmaker, who really has been a non-factor here tonight. Georgetown just yo-yoing Butler right now. Showing that connection that has been so impressive early this season. O'Hearn wanted it back. Polvaro saw his team-leading 3-goal mark matched earlier tonight. And Jacob Montez scored in the 47th minute. There's Montez. Can deliver again. Beautiful dive in. Bulger headed it away. That one knuckled through and gobbled up by Georgie. Looking for Gould over the top. Dangerous header there by Hope Gunn, trying to get it back to his keeper. Not sure he knew how close Romero was behind him. Good news for Butler. Didn't see him slip back onto the field, but Griffin DeBolt's back out there for Butler, so that shot he took to the knee, apparently not as serious as it originally looked, so he now anchors back in that center back spot alongside Reese Myers. But his limited absence allowed the first goal of the game and the only goal on the tally sheet for Georgetown. Crossing through. There's where that length and speed of DeBolt comes in so handy. And now a foul given as Barnes hit the turf. Couple of players tangling up. Rothrock and Barnes. A host of Hoyas waiting to check in. The next available offering. Good move there. Butler on the run. Cabrera waiting for it. Got it. Trying to drive it through. Lee did a good job to corral that hard pass. Now Gould with it. Flips it away. It's deflected out by Wu. Butler just couldn't connect. Two good passes there, but Gould did the best he could with it. It'll earn a Butler corner and the first real offensive life here in the second half for the Bulldogs. That pass was just way too hard from Cabrera. Lee did a good job to control it and then really earning a corner, probably the best scenario for Butler. 5 different players onto the pitch for this corner, 2 for Butler, 3 for Georgetown. It will be Jack Haywood to take it for the Bulldogs. When low near post, headed away harmlessly. And now the run out for Montes. Butler wanted a call there for either a foul, maybe he thought of a handball, and now the whistle blows against the Bulldogs. And a yellow card has been given to Griffin DeBolt, who I think had some choice words for the referee on the way by. So Butler starting to get pretty frustrated. We'll confirm who that one is on as he gives that to the 4th referee. The foul was on Jack Haywood, who is out there for Butler. Haywood was already playing on a yellow. Official score indicating it was a yellow against the Butler team. Certainly a lot of frustration there with the lack of call on one end and then the foul on Butler then called. But the Bulldogs finding some life here midway through this second half. Good through ball here. Nasser just in off the bench. Good idea, but Cabrera a little bit behind on that run. And now is officially changed. It was a yellow card on Griffin DeBolt. So DeBolt and Haywood now both out playing for Butler on the field with a yellow. Foul will be called here against Georgetown. Derek Dodson, who was very active in the first half, trying to get back to that same activity level here in half number 2. He gets called for the foul there, and even from distance, a chance for a set piece here for the Bulldogs. Haywood delivers all the way in, and really no chance for a run there as Romero easily able to glove it. Romero has logged every minute in goal for the Hoyas so far tonight. Again, a team that has played 3 different keepers this season and has rotated somewhat. Myers, bull in a china shop. Advantage played for Georgetown for the moment. Whistle swallowed as the Hoyas have some space to work. Couple of good runs there. Riviere calling for it on the left side. Instead, swing it back. Nealis couldn't get it through. Wu waiting for the spin. King was there. And it'll be a throw for Georgetown. Opportunity to control it there. Maybe had some space to operate in. Gould gets a bit of a breather here. Allows Ethan King, Energizer Bunny at 6'1", challenge that back line. Nasser. Good skill, drops off. Cabrera looking for space to roam. And Riviere, strong dispossession. Butler throw here. Nasser working through 3 defenders. Couldn't find an angle to give it up. Oh, beautiful strength. Polvara. Lots of green room in front. Dodson, space to operate. Polvara wants the cross. A little bit too high. Even for the 6'4" framed freshman. Now Butler out running. And Perrin Barnes really just outran his opportunities and then comes back to take it. Nealis looks back and says, where was the talk to help me out there? Nasser. Lots of room middle. Nasser with it back. That one deflects through. King had a chance but didn't know it was going to be there. That may have been a handball as well in the box. Deflected around, but Butler again strings a couple of good moves together to at least challenge the front of the scoring area. Still just 2 shots in this game for Butler. And now play stopped. For an injury. Looks as if Dante Polvara perhaps just stunned for a moment. Again, it was a Jacob Montes goal in the 47th minute of this game. 90 seconds into the second half. Nasser. Cabrera. (11-2) the advantage for Georgetown in shots. 6-0 the advantage shots on goal. 5 saves by Georgie. A couple of them brilliant, have kept things interesting.
Georgetown substitutions: 23 Chris Lay for 7 Jacob Montes, and 8 J.B. Fisher for 17 Dante Polvara. On for the Dogs, 13 Logan Lee for 15 Joel Harvey.
Lee back in for Butler with Lay in for Georgetown. J.B. Fisher also back in, senior midfielder. Couple of long breathers for some Georgetown starters. Dodson got a nice break sandwiching around halftime, as did Fisher. Now out there recharged with a 1-goal advantage. King hoping that ball was going to get through. It did not. And then Lee couldn't bring it in. You mentioned some of those stars getting long stretches here for Georgetown. 14-year head coach Brian Weiss, very quick to say it's the deepest team he's ever had. And that's saying a lot for a team that's won 3 out of the last 4 Big East championships, as goal kick awarded here to Georgetown. Butler thought that ball deflected off of a defender, with the Bolt coming up to make a play at it. Referees disagree. Dodson can't win that one. Chatter from Bulldog players on the field, wanting to press up, play the ball more. Beautiful slide and control. Ball trying to get through to Dodson, couldn't find it. King, late read on that ball. Bodies collide. That should be a Butler throw. It is. Barnes quickly resets. Nasser. Drive right back. Lee punches it through. Hollenkamp. Cabrera flails at it. Was deflected, earns a Butler corner. And look at Logan Lee starting to get fired up. Wants to see more effort. Perhaps even the smallest guy out there at 5'8". Probably Hollenkamp to take it. Cabrera waits inside the box for any deflections. That one's a little low on delivery. King fighting for it. And Georgetown will not fully clear until slides out, and then Barnes couldn't do much with that reception. No team looking for consolation prizes, but if Butler is to have one, they've probably been the better team on the field the last 15 minutes or so, but it's come in a 1-0 hole. Shifted Myers to that right back side, trying to give him an opportunity to create more. Body down for Georgetown. They play through. King trying to run through 4 blue defenders. Now Cabrera with space to operate. Slides out. Lee's going to get there. Good skill. Visiting Butler. We're part of a game day organization with a group of local special needs students with soccer and had such a good time. The coaching staff stayed in touch with the local organizers, and when sort of a scheduling fluke of sorts brought them back to Indianapolis in back-to-back years, they decided, hey, if it works out in our schedule, we'll stay. And so both Georgetown and Butler are going to do some work together, bringing soccer together to unite those in need here in the community tomorrow. And after 90 or perhaps more minutes of competition tonight, they're going to put all of that behind them tomorrow to bring everybody together with the game. Not really sure if that conversation between Logan Lee and the back line of Georgetown is going to be front and center in that community work tomorrow. The energy of King continuing to pay dividends. Then a quiet half for Dodson, and that will be a foul against Butler. Dodson trying to dribble through. DeBolt called for it. Just outside the box. But a golden opportunity here for Georgetown to put a second on the board. Referee with words for DeBolt, who's playing on a yellow. Let's see what we got here. Kind of a lazy challenge. DeBolt didn't get the ball, kind of half and halved it and got in the way, made it life a lot easier for the referee to make that call. Unfortunately, it came just outside the box. Riviere there with the left foot. Will drive it right inside the post. What a strike! And the reigning Big East Player of the Week makes it 2-0 Georgetown with a brilliant hooking strike inside the near post. No wall, no keeper would deny that shot. Fourth goal of the season for the sophomore. And what a special strike that was.
23, Chris Lay. 7, Jacob Montez. For 11, Jack Beer. On for the Dogs, 7, Alex.
He was looking score the entire way. Georgie just couldn't get there. And that might be enough for the Hoyas. 13th foul whistled on the night for Butler. Just outside the box. Likely cost the Bulldogs a chance in this one. Now Butler trying to quickly answer back. Taken down just outside the box. Lee was dribbling in, tried to dribble through, hit a wall of two defenders. Nealis there arguing, but the referee is going to say the foul occurring just outside the penalty box. That is a huge decision in a 2-goal game. It will lead to a free kick for Butler, but, I mean, inches away from being a penalty kick. Probably the right call in terms of where Lee's body was. Certainly momentum carrying him into the box. He will strike this free kick. Hooked it right off the crossbar. That was so close. And a rocket shot. I know that ball was diving near post and out of the picture and just hung in there. An absolute bullet. It'll be a corner for Butler. Wow. He thought he had it. Just a must-score type of possession down here for Butler in a 2-goal hole. Driving through. No one really ready for it. Bulger. Back. Cabrera. Runs into Riviere. Squibbed out to Gould, who's checked in. He overran it, and now comes the counter for the Hoyas. Bulldogs able to slow it down, but could not get back within one on an important trip down the field that time. And now Georgetown can play at a deliberate pace. Man on, Rothrock. No communication. 3 on everybody and just sailed it high over the crossbar. Well, you could see that entire sequence materializing up here. The Butler crowd seeing it as well. Rothrock just completely taking it away and then just undercut that ball ever so slightly. May have actually deflected off of Myers, trying to deflect it. Sub allowed here for Butler. It'll be their throw.
Georgetown substitution 22 Foster McCune for
Foster
27,
McCune
Zach
also
Riviere.
comes in for
Onto the Dogs,
Georgetown
23,
as
Sutton for
Riviere
14,
exits after
College.
scoring the second goal. Derek Sutton in for the first time for Butler. Eric Hollenkamp exits for the Bulldogs. This giveaway, Nasser couldn't control it. Butler's had moments. Probably unsung, that back line for Georgetown is just bottled up. Swallowed any would-be chances for Butler to advance offensively. They're playing a long ball over the top. Gould forced Georgetown to make a play on that ball and rewarded with the turnover. Gonna drive it far post, controlled. Bulger can't do much with it. Butler back on its heels here defensively. And the flag was up anyway. As Dodson was offside. Clock will tick inside of 10 minutes on this restart. Good look, getting wide. Nasser to Bulger, looking for space, crossing it, dangerous. Couple of heads there colliding. As Gould was in the area.
Substitution for the Hoyas, 25, Siggy Gearson.
Siggy Gearson in for Georgetown. Daniel Wu will get a much-deserved breather. Wu locking down the back, and now Gearson, 6'2", grad transfer. A lot of experience to come in that back line as that issued off the face of Rothrock. That free kick goal by Zach Riviere, the reigning Big East Offensive Player of the Week, looming large in this one to make it a 2-score contest. Even with Butler pressing now, knowing they need 2 to find the back of the net. Lee. Good run out wide, good use of space. Lots of room now for Dodson to operate. Right back, flag stays down, 3-0 Georgetown. Beautiful football there on the break. The counter was perfect, the overlapping run. Montes is on the board for the second time tonight. 3-spot for the Hoyas as Montes stayed onside just long enough to waltz right into the box. No surprise, Paul Rothrock will get the assist. One of the best in the country, keeps his average alive. Butler expecting the flag to be up. It was not. And that will put this one on ice for the Hoyas. About as easy of a goal as you will see. All on the counter. Butler slowed return. Montes did the work on the far side. Overlapped Dodson and then was able to trickle into the area without much problem. And After a scoreless first 45, it has been a second half dominated by the number 3 team in the country. You can look at all the goals in this one, and it's certainly a product of the depth of Georgetown, but that was really the first true mental mistake by Butler. No one back, no one checking. And Georgie just left isolated and alone on an island for that second of the night by Montez. Sweeping one in there, good read by Romero to squeeze it. Long ball for Bulger. Just can't get that one down, and then Rothrock a little too energetic running through him. Again, 3 goals tonight for the Hoyas, 3 assists as well. Rothrock's assist on that last goal to Montez, his 6th assist of the year. Came in second in the nation at an assist per game. He will stay on that average here tonight. Georgetown just trying to keep it clean the rest of the way. And what will be a definitive opening win in the Big East portion of the schedule. A goal differential on the year now up to 16 with a 3-goal advantage. And this one is Myers, a good defensive play. By the way, it has been a similar result for St. John's, if you're looking around the conference right now. It was a 1-0 deficit for St. John's. They have scored 3 second-half goals and lead it 3-1 late against Xavier. Providence wins at 1-0 against Seton Hall. They are underway in Milwaukee between Creighton and Marquette after Villanova and DePaul played to a scoreless tie earlier today. So the 2 top 10 ranked teams in the Big East look like they're going to get started with really solid performances. Georgetown coming on the road and dispatching Butler in this one, while St. John's coming from behind in a 1-0 early deficit to take out a top 20 team in Xavier at home to start their Big East campaign. And the speed on display in that program is something to behold. Under 5 to go, no one home for Butler. Is that ball they were looking for, Justin Savona. Both teams have emptied a few extra bodies. In fact, Butler will go deep to the bench here in the last few minutes. Again, this gauntlet of tests coming up for Paul Snape and company. And Georgetown's road tests not over yet, as they will travel to Louisville for a game coming up midweek. It'll be next Tuesday, just about 2 hours south of here. That same night, Butler will welcome 4th-ranked Indiana here to the Selleck Bowl The Hoosiers 3-1 winners earlier today against Wisconsin to get Big Ten play started. The road not easier for the Bulldogs, and the tests continue to come for Georgetown. And just think about what the last couple of weeks have been. Face a team tonight that certainly knows your program. Score 3 unanswered in the second half, and we'll go face a very, very good Louisville program on Tuesday. A team that's already won 5-1 this season has Georgetown at UCLA. A lot to be excited about if you were a Hoya fan watching this team play on the start of this season. And as more substitutions come in, it begs the question for Georgetown, what is still left to come for the Hoyas? What could you possibly still need to work on or improve at if you're head coach Brian Weiss for a team that is undefeated, outscoring opponents 19-3? And again, it's that better over 90 minutes. This certainly wasn't a perfect 90 minutes of action for the Hoyas. Butler punched him in the mouth several times in that first half before succumbing to the depth here in half number 2. There's one thing you cannot question is how connected this team is. Relationships are strong. You can see it in the results and in the play. Deep run of the corner, beautiful change of direction. Savona. Easily handled by Nealis. Georgetown possesses with 1 minute to go. Trying to see this shutout all the way to the finish line. It will be the freshman keeper Tomas Romero's shutout all to himself. So he goes the distance in goal. Squeezes that one with 30 to play. Butler will move to 3-3-0 on the year and suffer its first home loss. And as we mentioned before, the number 3 team in the country, the Hoyas, will improve to 6-0-0, heading back out of conference on Tuesday at Louisville.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Game performance
5,
from Butler in the first
4,
half, but the
3,
class all
2,
Georgetown's in the
1.
second half as the Hoyas show their depth, show their grit, and a lot of skill in between as well. 3-0 the final. Georgetown makes it look easy in the final 45 minutes. And the number 3 team in the country flexes some muscle in the opening night of Big East Conference play. We'll hear from a couple of the proud Hoyas coming up in just a few minutes, but it was a dominant performance by Georgetown, especially in the second half. And for the game, they outshoot Butler 14-4. 8 of those 14 shots on goal, and again, the 3 goals tonight. 2 of them from Jacob Montez, and the brilliant strike from Zach Riviere on the free kick was the one that really put this one away. Championship-style performance tonight for the reigning champions of the Big East. Georgetown wins it 3-0. We'll hear from some happy Hoyas right after this.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Three-0 dominant second half performance from Georgetown. They get the road win to start the Big East Conference portion of the schedule. And with the goal scorers here, and Jacob Montez, Jack Riviere. Guys, impressive second half performance. Jacob, I'll start with you. What was the halftime message? You guys just turned it up to a different level there in the second half.
For sure. In the first half, a big emphasis that the coach put on coming out in the second half was just winning second balls. In the first half, they beat us. We always keep stats about it. They beat us, and that's always a game changer for us. So it's just that extra intensity that we brought out in the second half. We knew we needed to get the first goal, especially away. And we knew when we got it that we were going to just roll on with it, so it was good to get it.
All right, I want to talk about the second goal because that strike was a thing of beauty. I know that riding that hot streak from the hat trick last week, but tell me about that set piece for you.
Yeah, it lined up perfectly on my left foot, and I had the option to cross it, but I wanted to try my luck, and luckily it went in.
You know, this is a big stretch for you guys to get the road win here after the road wins you guys had out west. This team just feels like there's a connection on the field right now that it's pretty special.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we set goals this spring, and then in preseason we were so focused, so motivated, and we just keep it rolling. We keep putting our head down and keep working.
All right, speaking of keeping rolling, it's going to stay on the road, long ways away, out of conference at Louisville coming up on Tuesday. What can this team continue to do?
I think obviously keep getting away wins. Stay undefeated is our main emphasis right now. Going into Louisville, that's what we're mainly focused on. So I think we have the team to do it, and I think it's a special group, so hopefully we can go far this year.
A special second-half performance tonight, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
3-0 the final here from the Selleck Bowl. Georgetown keeps it rolling. We appreciate you watching here tonight on the Big East Digital Network.